White Hope Diamond, what killed the dinosaurs? Who makes the finest pizza? What's in your brother's dresser drawers? Mysteries of life, screaming to be solved. Here we stand in our trench coats.
The Mary-Kate and Ashley empire from the 90s was a juggernaut. Clothes, books, music, and direct-to-video nonsense, it didn't matter. Little kids ate that shit up. And you know what? I like the Olsen twins. I don't mean I had a crush or was even a fan. I mean, I liked Full House, I liked Two of a Kind, and that hot redhead. And It Takes Two wasn't really that bad either. But for the most part, they sucked. To put it into gaming terms, the twins were the Wii, and their products and media were games. Most of it was shovelware. So of course there were video games. I remember a year or so back I saw The New Adventures of Mary-Kate and Ashley for the Game Boy Color. I'd figure I'd try it out, maybe even review it, just for a laugh. What I found goes against the very logic of my programming, but I'll say it. The game is good. Not in a so bad it's good way. It's more of a, if this game was called something else and sold on the Google Play Store, it would be a top seller sort of way. The game is based off the Olsen's line of detective videos. I don't really remember much other than the song, which has been stuck in my head since the 3rd grade. Basically, the girls, along with the hound dog Clue, would solve dumb little mysteries for people with less acting experience than the 8-year-old stars. It was kinda like Scooby-Doo, just without the hot redhead. The game is a 2D platformer with a strong focus on puzzle solving. Literally. Each mystery consists of 10 stages, of which you must locate and collect a puzzle piece. The pieces are in cages that can be opened for a limited time by a giant gray switch. The 3 characters have their own uses and specialties. Mary-Kate can jump the highest, and whose head can be used as a trampoline. Ashley is the only one that can flip the switches and picks up the dog. She is, however, the only one that the others can't stand on. Clue, like Mary-Kate, can be stood on to reach higher ground, but it can also swim and be used as a projectile when held by Ashley. And don't worry, if you forget which one does what, all you have to do is hit the start button for a reminder. And lastly, the select button switches between the young ladies in the mud. There are secondary puzzle pieces that will give you hints for each stage when all of them are collected. Not that they really help that much since the game isn't really that hard. Like any good platformer, there are 1-ups, pits, and enemies to look out for. The 1-ups are in almost every stage, and after each mystery you have a time stage where it's pretty easy to rack up on some more. High falls will usually kill you, but if you're lucky and the fall isn't too high, the characters will only be stunned. Enemies will cause instant death, which is where Clue is needed. The only problem is that Ashley throws him in a weird arc, so it's pretty easy to miss. After you complete each mystery, you get the girls explaining what they learned, such as it was only a beehive and a password for continuing later, since there is no save feature. I know this just all sounds ridiculously dumb, and it is. I really think this game was created with a different concept in mind, but the Olsens were thrown in last minute. Just watching them literally stand on top of each other and throw the dog across the screen makes me laugh. And I love when you duck, their lower half just phases into the floor like Kitty Pryde. Would it have really been that hard to animate crouching? My only real complaint is the controls are a little stiff. That's it. Maybe a score system or a time limit would have been cool. Perhaps a score could have been generated by how fast you complete each stage and how many times you died or restarted. Also, a multiplayer mode through the Game Boy's link cables would have been pretty cool. But like they say, you can't judge a book by its cover, and the same can be said about video games. While this game isn't very hard, you will find a healthy, and most importantly, addictive challenge, much like Angry Birds. I made it about 3 mysteries in before moving on to more interesting games, but God help me, I enjoyed it. I mean, it's no Portal 1, maybe more like the Portal Flash game, but for a licensed Game Boy Color game, it's really not bad. I would have to recommend this game to younger puzzle gamers or pedophiles that want to watch Ashley bounce on Mary-Kate's head, but seriously, if this game had come out 10 years later on smartphones, the developers would have the next Flappy Birds on their hands.